What's up, everyone? It is Sunday, February 5th. Super Bowl 51 has just concluded, and that is what this episode will be predominantly talking about. So, Patriots just won in overtime. It was the first Super Bowl to ever go into overtime. It was also the first Super Bowl, or they broke a record for the largest comeback in Super Bowl history. No team has ever came back from more than 19 points, I think it was, at half to win the Super Bowl. So, congrats to the Patriots on that. Brady got Super Bowl MVP, which is well deserving. I mean, he just looked like he was just carving up that defense there at the end. And he's going to go down as the best quarterback ever. He's got 5 Super Bowl wins, all with the same franchise, the only Super Bowl wins for that franchise. No quarterback has 5 Super Bowl wins. There's only one other player, I believe, that has 5 Super Bowl wins, and it's a defensive guy. But yeah, so Belichick will probably also go down as the best coach ever. He's been in a good 70%, 80% of Super Bowls this past 20 years, so he's going to go down as probably the best coach ever. The Patriots unfortunately joined the 5-ring club to go along with the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. A little upset about that. I liked the Cowboys having a chance to maybe breaking out of that club soon and being part of the 6-ring club. But Patriots, they're dynasty for sure. I mean, you can't argue that. You can hate Brady, you can hate Belichick, you can hate the Patriots, you can say they've cheated, whatever you want to do, but they get things done. It's, even from someone who doesn't really like them that much, hate seeing them there every year. They're kind of a boring team. They're like the Spurs of the NFL with the way that they play. They're just so mediocre, but amazing somehow. And they get things done, though. I mean, there's people are going to say that there's going to be asterisks around all their Super Bowls with they won a Super Bowl the year that they did the spying. They won a Super Bowl the year that they did the deflations. They won a Super Bowl the year that Brady did the tuck one. That's probably my most hated Super Bowl that they won. Rich Gannon and the John Gruden and the Oakland Raiders were having a hell of a year that year. I really wanted them to win the Super Bowl that year. And Patriots ended up getting away with some weak-ass tuck rule call where Brady obviously fumbled it because he went forward, pulled it back, tucked it back again like he was going to look the field again for another catch, and it got knocked out. It just happened so quick that you can't really. It was just boom, boom, and then it happened. So they got away with some stupid tuck or whatever. Now they do have 2 super. They didn't really. There was no cheating by them this year. You could actually argue that the other teams had an advantage because Brady had to sit out 4 games, but they still managed to get through it. So that's that. I do want to say though about the last touchdown of the game. Now, granted, I was telling my wife the whole time that was, as soon as that pass interference call got called at the end there, I knew that 4 plays they were going to score a touchdown. There was no way they weren't. It just, and I mean, I guess you can't say no way. And the Seahawks threw in a bad interception on the 1-yard line 2 Super Bowls ago, so it's not impossible, but it's just very improbable. So I knew they were going to score regardless, but I do want to say that there was a obvious holding on one of the linemen on that play. I saw him just dragging a guy out of bounds, and I don't know why on a play like that wasn't called, but the pass interference on the play before was. When the pass interference was pass interference, but it wasn't like a really bad one. Like it was like a normal one that goes no call every now and then. So I don't know how such an obvious holding call didn't get seen, but a not as obvious or normal call and pass interference got called the play before. But whatever. Counter argument: the Falcons got away with the offensive holding for their second touchdown of the game. The tight end that scored the touchdown was totally grabbing Patrick Chung's jersey the whole time. So I mean, if you got to counter argue, then that's the counter argue there. I just want to jump to the catch that Julio Jones made in the fourth quarter, where he like it was like I won't even say it was the most perfect ball thrown by Ryan, because I really think that he overthrew it. But Julio's just so lanky and long and athletic that he was able to jump up and catch that ball and get 2 feet in. And I thought that's one of the greatest catches I've ever seen in the Super Bowl. Little did I know that in a couple short plays, Edelman was going to go and make that crazy catch with the ball bouncing all over the place in the middle of 3 people. I do think that the Falcons wasted their timeout challenging that, because I knew right away off of the very first replay, didn't even need any other angles. I knew right away that that was a catch. It was more obvious to me than the David Tyree catch in the Super Bowl with the Giants and the Patriots. Like, that ball never even got close to touching the ground. So I don't know why the Falcons wasted their timeout. I don't know if they would have been able to use it or anything like that, but I know they did kind of run out of time at the end of the game there. So I think that they could have maybe done something different. I also cannot explain where this meltdown happened. Usually I can pinpoint where a team's meltdown happened. I can watch a game, and a lot of the times the biggest meltdowns happen when a team gets ahead quick and they go into a prevent defense, which allows a lot of short pass plays to go for longer than they should, especially if your team's not great at tackling. Now, the Falcons did have a lineman get hurt earlier in the game, and I actually heard a funny stat that the Falcons were the only team this entire year that had the same 5 starting linemen the entire year. Not one time did they not have the same 5 starting linemen, which is interesting and kind of can explain why it gets there, because that lineman camaraderie, like teamwork and stuff, like really plays a pivotal role in how good your team is and how consistent you can be and stuff like that. But they were also without Desmond Trufant, which he's going to be a stud cornerback. So, I mean, not really an excuse, just a notation there that did happen. But even without that, I can't explain what they did. I didn't see no noticeable prevent defense. And like I said earlier, maybe it was just Brady he just figured it out, and he was able to just carve their defense up, because he figured out what he was doing wrong in the first half, and he fixed it. Even some of the third quarter, he wasn't really doing that great. They just scored a lot of unanswered points at the end of the third and early fourth and made it a game. A lot of people on my Facebook were saying game over at half and stuff, and I do remember turning to my wife at one point and doing the Aberman voice from Mighty Ducks, where he says, "It's over, baby." But I was just joking. Like, it wasn't like I actually thought that, because I'm a firm believer that the game is not over until there's a team that's in the lead and that clock is 0. Because I've seen some crazy stuff. Exhibit A would be the NFC Championship with the Seahawks and the Packers. When the Seahawks pulled that crazy come from behind win off, they needed a lot of things to go right. Like, this was just a straight up, like, assassination by the Patriots. They just went out and they just figured things out and just did things the right way. The Seahawks and Packers game needed a lot of stuff to go right. They needed an onside kick. They needed a 2-point conversion. They needed all this crazy stuff. So it's a little different, but the both of those games, though, I did not see a noticeable, both the Packers Seahawks game and this Super Bowl, I did not see a noticeable reason to why they lost. They just did things that they were doing in the first quarter and second quarter worse in the third and the fourth quarter. Like, that's basically all it came down to. It wasn't a different They weren't playing a softer coverage or anything like that that was making it. So, but after watching this game, I can't explain what I can't explain what the hell I just saw. Like this, I'm astonished, and I'm actually happy it wasn't my team that did this, because I'd be stressed beyond belief if my team was the one that the one loss in 94 postseason games when a team is ahead by 19 points or more. That stat popped up during the Super Bowl. Teams were 93-0 when leading by 19 points or more at halftime. And now it's 93-1. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what just happened. I mean, the only good thing that comes out of this is in the future, 30 years from now, I'm watching a Super Bowl and I see no team has ever came back from a 19-point deficit and won, except for one. And I can know that I watched that one game that it was. Just like when the Cavs came back and beat the Warriors from a 3-1 deficit and ended up winning the I was able to watch that series, and so I can go down and tell everyone I was part of the general populace that watched the one time that a team has came back from a 3-1 deficit. So that's one thing that comes good out of it. But congratulations to the Patriots. Sucks to say. I mean, if my Cowboys have to see them next year in the playoffs or in the Super Bowl, I hope to God that we take care of business, because if it ends up being a game like this and my team just chokes completely, it's just going to stress me out. I was going to do a fun top 5 commercials during the Super Bowl, but it's not really worth it. The Super Bowls have gone real downhill, in my opinion. The commercials they used to be like targeting like which one's going to be the funniest. My wife brought up a good point. She says all these car commercials are trying to be all like dramatic and like inspirational. Like, you need a car that's going to be with you the whole time. Like, why? Why is that related to a car? Like, come on now. There was a few funny commercials sprinkled in there that I kind of chuckled at, but there was a Skittles one, a Verizon 50 Shades of Grey one, a Cinex one where a guy gets into the wrong car, and it's just kind of a funny little scene. But just the commercials just are so lackluster now. The halftime performance, Lady Gaga, she did all right. Everyone was saying that they thought it was amazing. I don't really think it was amazing. I've seen a lot better performances than that, but I also think it's kind of, to be fair, I think it's kind of hard to have an amazing performance at the Super Bowl because you're kind of rushing. You can tell every time someone does a Super Bowl performance that they're rushing everything because they're trying to get their 7 songs in and their 5 different outfits and uniforms and setups and all that stuff. So, but it's kind of an interesting new type of performance, how she like glided down on the ropes and all that kind of stuff. Like, no, I don't remember anyone ever really doing anything that crazy. So that was all right. But this year I also decided to write down a couple prop bets that if I were to put money in Vegas, what I would put money on. And overall, I probably would have lost my ass. The one that I might have done good on, and everyone else can be the judge of this, is there was a prop bet on what the first song Lady Gaga would sing is. And it had all her hit songs, and Poker Face was a 10-1 odds. If I was putting $20 down on it, I may have gotten $200 in winnings. However, she actually sang America the Beautiful, I think, was her first one or something, as she was at the top of the thing before she jumped. So I don't know if that counts. I don't know what Vegas would call there, because all their bets were songs by her. But if it was which one of her songs she sang first, then I did pretty good on that one. went on a couple decent ones. Who would throw the first touchdown? I put Matt Ryan. He threw the first touchdown. Um, Total yards of all touchdowns being over 100.5. I think that one ended up being true. LeGarrette, or I had who scores the first touchdown of the game, and I had it at Devontae Freeman, but it was actually it was a bet on who scores the first. If someone scores a touchdown in the first quarter, and who would it be? And I chose Devontae Freeman, but he scored the first touchdown in the second quarter, not in the first quarter. So that one would have been a wash. Um, I had Luke Bryan. Is he going to be wearing blue jeans? There was a 1 to 2 odds on that, and I took blue jeans, and he had jeans on, but I think they were black. We were debating it the whole time. We couldn't really tell. I took the over on how long the national anthem would be, and he was actually like 15 seconds under, which is surprising because almost every person who's sang the national anthem the past few years went over. So I just thought it'd be fun to go through some prop bets that if I did happen to put money on the game, how I would do. But it turns out if I didn't win that Lady Gaga song one, then my prop bets were pretty horrible. But yeah, so that is going to be it for this episode, and I am going to try to come up with something special for the next one since football is over. I might still do some football related things here and there, draft related, team related, things like that. Maybe do some type of power ranking type deal and why, go over each team and this and that. I'll get more into the NBA too, and baseball will be starting soon as well. So anytime there's UFC fights, I'll mention those, and so just keep an eye out for my next episode, and I will catch you guys later.